On this episode of Split Screen, we watch or recap Name of the Rose, where you have to ask yourself, do you love young, beautiful men? Or is Jesus the only one for you? This is Split Screen. Hey everyone, it's Split Screen again.
Split screen.
I'm Tony,
And I'm Don.
and we are doing In the Name of the Rose, starring Sean Connery.
Was it Nome de la Rosa? Italian.
In Italian, yeah.
I got the Italian poster instead.
Fancy.
Yeah.
We got to dodge the YouTube
Mix it.
gods.
I know, right? So anyway, evidently when you use a trailer, it gets a copyright, not claim, but it's like
Suggestion. They
it
wanted to
says
come after you.
even
Maybe.
though we're not using the trailers for anything important,
Or any audio. Just
just
background.
kind of background noise, something to give you to look at.
That's right. For all you people who can't keep attention because TikTok has ruined your brains.
Yep.
But we got you for at least 30 minutes today, but I'm shooting for lower than that.
Did we say our names?
We did.
Yeah.
Yeah. But now we need to go into, I guess, a little bit of maybe what the movie's about. What's a bunch of friars, religious men, clergymen, all meeting together for a big discussion on whether or not the church should be poor. But two people show up a little bit earlier than the rest. It's what's his name, William, and his follower apprentice Adso. They show up early, but unbeknown to them, there has been a murder or a suicide or some sort of death on the property. They are brought in to investigate it, hopefully to keep it hush hush, so no one hears about it before the
Before
big
the
event.
delegation
The
shows up.
delegation shows up,
Yeah.
and so it's the
Starring Sean Connery,
Yep.
Christian Slater, and F. Murray Abraham.
Yes.
Abrams. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
that's pretty
I
much
think
it.
that's it.
It's a
Yeah.
murder mystery. It's Sherlock
Yeah.
Holmes.
Who done it?
They even allude to certain things in the movie that it's about Sherlock Holmes.
Hmm.
Or very early Sherlock Holmes. At one point, he says, "Man, elementary."
Yes, he does. Yeah.
Yeah, and he's from not Baskerville, which was a very popular Sherlock Holmes novel,
Oh,
The
okay.
Hounds of Baskerville.
Did they make that one into a movie?
Oh
I
yeah,
think they did. Yeah.
yeah, a few of them.
Mhm.
Those were big back in the day, very very big.
Well,
So
this is another great one brought to you by the Don. So, what made you suggest this? What's your top three things you like or dislike
oh,
about this movie?
um, well, I think the acting all the way through is amazing. Sean Connery was, he sold the role. He was great. All the supporting characters, even Christian Slater, who at this time he was only 16 years old when he did this,
Mhm.
did a great job. I mean, he didn't have to do anything but emote for the most part and be afraid. But just everybody, even the pig people, that
Yeah,
live below the the monastery. Is it monastery?
it was
Is that
called
what it?
Battlement at one point, and I was like,
Yeah.
huh? But it's just sort of a
Did you
parish.
did you know that was a set?
No,
That entire thing was
that's
a
a pretty
set.
amazing set.
It was the biggest set. I was reading, it was the biggest set made in Europe since Cleopatra.
Wow, that's really
It
good
l
because it's a pretty
it
big
looked
area.
amazing.
And then the labyrinth for the library later is kind of like, oh, they made that
They
all.
made that.
Okay.
Some of the interior was shot at another monastery somewhere in Italy, but for the most part, the maze at the end was all them. So I guess that would be my second one. Just the production. I mean, it was
Sure.
you felt. I mean, I didn't know it was a set, and I've watched this a
I
couple
didn't
of
think it was
times.
at all.
I mean, and to see that they went and I mean the amount of detail, which is what the 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 author, this is from a book, and the director, they wanted to really, you know, they really want to show how it was in 1327 when
Hmm.
this movie took place. So, I mean, the details on the way the people looked, their hairstyles, their the living conditions, everything was taken from history, and I
Hmm.
I like that as well. And my third one would be well, I already said actors. Um, I'll give it a negative. It does get a little bit long,
Mm,
just a bit, because the murder mystery itself isn't really, there's a lot of stuff that happens
mm,
before the murder mystery gets solved and why it's being, why, what's happening. And so there's all these little, like Christian Slater meets a girl, and uh, um, a bunch of random people talking a lot.
yeah.
Ron Perlman as a pig man.
Mhm.
Did you see the prosthetic on his? It's
Yeah,
so funny. He he sold his role. I
he
mean,
did, he did.
oh, that's one thing I want to say, which we'll watch at a later one. This is from the same guy who did Quest for Fire, and I know you
Okay,
haven't seen that.
I have not.
Ron Perlman's in that, and it's about cavemen,
Mm.
Neanderthal, and it's a great movie.
They love giving that man roles where he
He,
looks weird.
pretty much that's been his entire career,
I
and
know that's the
he's
structure of his
succeeded.
face. It did, yeah.
Yeah, all the
Hellboy,
way up to
he was Beast and Beauty and the Beast. I mean, the
yeah.
only thing I feel like they didn't lean on his face on was, Sons of Anarchy when he was in
Oh,
that show.
Sleepwalkers.
Oh.
You probably haven't seen that either. It's not a
Yeah,
very good.
it
It's a Stephen King adaptation. It's horrible, absolutely
a
horrible.
lot of them aren't very good.
Yeah, it's about incest.
Oh, fun
Yeah.
topic,
Anyway, year
topic.
3. I think I gave my 3.
You did.
Yeah.
Um, I'd have to say the acting. I'll have to repeat that. I thought the acting was really well done. Um, Good narrative. I think all around, even though it's highlighting the church, we're talking about some pretty messed up stuff to happen at
Oh,
a church, stuff that already is.
well, just all the things. I mean, whether in order to be a monk, you had to be poor.
Hmm.
But then when we see certain things like when the delegation came in, the Inquisition
Hmm.
came in,
All
and
very
they're dressed
rich.
up in the
Oh
to
yeah.
the nines in gold and
Hmm.
red, which is a big contrast between the actual monks that were there,
Yeah.
and then another contrast with all the people out there
Hmm.
outside, and all these
It's like
people,
three tiers of like
they all
classism.
had different stories too. They
They
all
did.
had different things going on. Yeah, no,
Yep.
sorry for interrupting, but I love this movie. I mean, I can
Yeah.
talk about
Third one. Hmm. Third one's interesting because the story is not a love story, though the in the name of the rose and even what the rose is and what it represents is this kind of fleeting thing that people who dedicate themselves to the cloth don't get to experience or understand.
it.
And actually, with that being said, I kind of like the ending that he did not fall into his emotions and
Yeah,
try
no,
to,
that was a good scene at the end,
yeah,
when he had to make a choice.
yeah. And you could probably tell it's the influence of William and Atso because they have a very strong, you know, master student, teacher student kind of like
Father son.
father son kind of connection where, William is smart enough and logical enough to take the things Atso says, fairly as a younger gentleman who has a bit more emotions. And Atso is clearly learning a lot of his deductions and intuition and stuff from him. So really good dynamic for this kind of, I guess Sherlock Holmes and what was his Watson?
Yeah,
Like a sort of kind of
yeah,
buddy duo with
no,
that. So yeah,
yeah, no,
that's my three.
it's good. It's a
Mhm.
good 3. So it sounds to me like you liked it.
Yeah, it was good. I appreciate anything that just calls what it is for what it is. And it's talking about a lot of dark stuff
Oh
that the
yeah,
church is
no,
into
when
that
they
everyone
when
knows
they get there
happen.
and they're talking about how the devil is roaming the hallways,
Hmm.
because young pretty men are dying.
Yeah,
uh, yeah, no, and it's definitely set up with to have an air of gloom and
hmm,
foreboding,
yeah,
just drab colors, and that was
mhm.
one of the things that critics didn't like about it back then, was it was so bleak. It was,
It
it,
should and needs to be bleak
I
for
know,
what
I
it
know,
is.
I know. It's a period piece,
Yeah.
and it's meant to represent the way people lived back then.
Hmm.
And like I said in earlier, I don't know if it was in a review. I think there's a desire for people to not see the past and not remember the past, because
Yeah, absolutely.
they have a hard time believing that people live this way
Hmm.
or could live this
Or
way.
things were that bad, or things could happen, and
Yeah.
most of that stuff already did, and it continues to. One thing I'm noticing in a lot of these stories with a lot of these older movies that are smart and pretty cool for what they are, like we'll get into one later after this,
Mm.
is it's the same problems, same
People don't
issues,
change like
the
that.
same concerns. And even for, the church and its rough past and the stuff it's done, it's still kind of a giant mess, in many cases, probably worse than some of these
Yeah.
things. So for them just to tackle it headstrong and be just kind of fair to the characters and even fair to some of the characters' beliefs, because a lot of, what will represents is the devil, the intelligence, the deduction, the pulling from the path, the, eating the apple and having so much knowledge that he's constantly one step away from, being a
From
heretic.
being on the was it the stake, being burned at
Yeah,
the stake?
which he was almost there if he
Mhm.
didn't completely have to change
Well, he had that thing with yeah, F somebody here,
Bernardo.
Bernardo?
Yeah, Bernardo, yeah.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
had to
No,
kinda hide
because
the truth.
yeah, because they had evidently they had a confrontation. The head of the Inquisition comes
Well, Will
excuse
was the
me.
head of the
Man,
Inquisition. He was like an Inquisition
I thought
guy.
he was like the head.
Yeah,
I thought he was
he
like
was
the
huge, but
big
he was in the
cheese.
in the
Yeah.
Inquisition. And so there's this case that he did, and he rooted it wasn't, heresy or whatever it was. But because Bernardo was so for it,
Yeah.
he went behind his back and I guess talked to whoever was above Will, got him in trouble, and that was a wrap. He pretty much had to recant what he said, and he spent time in jail.
Kind of ruined his
It
career.
ruined his career, yeah, and that's, like, probably why he disappeared for a while too,
Yeah.
because, I mean, when you're done that way by something you are faithfully acting and, he's being himself, but he's going about his interpretation of
Mhm.
what this is the best way he can, and it's focused on truth, not control or money or anything like that. To have that kind of be thrown in your face, you feel typically like that is your whatever you believe in mistreating you
Mhm.
for your service.
Yeah.
So that's where a lot of those doubts and kind of lapses in faith come from when you feel like you've been directly attacked. And now here he is again, going through it again, where Bernardo is now the big cheese of the Inquisition, the
Mhm.
most famous, the most rich,
Yeah.
kind of forcing another false narrative at this
Evidently the
place.
most intelligent too, because
Yeah.
he comes in and he figures out the murder mystery within 2 seconds.
There's a cat, and what was it? A cat
A
and
black cat.
a black cat and was it the food that was there? There was something else, and they were like too satanic. Satanic. It was a
Yeah.
bird, right? Wasn't the bird in the cage, or is that what
Well,
the cat
remember
was?
excuse me. I gotta get some water here. Ron Perlman's character in this was a old school Catholic in a way,
Yeah,
and which meant that he still did rituals,
yeah,
and that was against the current church.
yeah.
So therefore, he was a heretic.
Mm,
So when they came in, Ron Perlman was doing his whatever it was
mhm.
with the chicken that she wanted.
Yeah, the chicken and the cat. There you go.
Yeah, and that's why she was there to just get the chicken, and Perlman was there to get rid of the evil spirits with.
Well, he also wanted to get some from her because they've been
Well,
exchanging
I don't know if he
food.
did because she wasn't on naked. She was just waiting for him to get done with the chicken.
Well, that happened earlier though, because when we first see the gate lifted up, we
Excuse
find
me.
that Salvatore opens the door, she sneaks in,
Mhm.
and then there's the switcheroo because she had came in there to
Well, she was
like,
always she was having sex with everybody.
yeah, for
Yeah.
food, which was kind of the whole reveal. She wasn't there to do witch stuff. She was just there to eat. Like that was her crime. She wanted to get food, and they
Yeah.
were going to make her a witch and burn her at the stake for a far simpler and understandable
Yeah.
sort of
You
thing.
know,
So
Benedito, right?
Bernardo,
Bernardo. Yeah,
yeah,
no, he's the one. He was bright. He figured it out on the spot.
yeah,
Unlike
instantly.
Connery, whose job was to take all the clues and put it
Hmm.
together and figure out that the whole this whole thing revolved around a book
Yeah.
that was risque,
Hmm.
and one particular
Risque.
priest didn't want it out there, so he was murdering. He was lacing the book with arsenic,
Yep.
and, and whoever read it would go insane, kill themselves,
Yeah.
or die.
Hmm.
And, and basically that's the
Yeah.
whole story there, isn't it?
Yeah, the metaphor around it
Mhm.
is that the truth is a touchy thing, and you either want to safeguard it so that many people don't know about it,
Yeah.
in the hopes that either A, they don't learn it and turn against you, or B, they can't have their own variation of it that makes what you want to do harder. Because I think the older priest's name was Jorge. And in the
Mhm.
very beginning, he says, I'm not a part of this whole thing. You young kids handle it. In reality, he is actually the main villain.
Yeah.
And you
Mhm.
think he's blind or something, which I
Eh,
guess he's not. He must have been lying.
I don't know I mean, cataracts, you can still see with
Something, yeah.
to a certain extent with some
Yeah.
cataracts,
But
but,
he was the bad guy the whole time. He's the one that
he
laced him
was
with
the
arsenic.
only one that did
The
anything.
only
The
one.
rest of them were just, there.
Pawns,
Like
collateral
like
damage,
when the obese, monk got
moon
snagged,
face. That's
yeah,
what we
and
call him, the moon faced.
he was blamed for the murders, but, his whole purpose of being there was because he didn't have anywhere else to go,
Hmm.
so he needed a bed and food,
Yeah.
so he became a priest,
Hmm.
well, a monk, and he was, like, this big, but
Yeah.
that was such a great scene because they're having a trial, and in order to keep him so to not be burned at the stake, he's
Mm.
confessing to his sins, which leads to his downfall. Because if
Yeah.
he had denied him, he would have been burned at the stake. So
Yeah.
kind of a lose lose situation. But
It
it was
was.
such a great scene.
And the fact that Salvatore, which is Ron
Mhm.
Perlman's character, and I want to say it's like Remgio, there was a heavier set priest. They were both from I
Mhm.
guess, a viewpoint that focused
Mhm.
on killing rich religious men or
Oh yeah,
clergymen or something.
yeah,
So they were kind of already branded based off of their history to be clearly
guilty.
guilty as soon as it happens because you're killing these clergymen. But even the guy goes, and this is the thing about the truth is that no one really cares that much about it if the truth necessarily doesn't serve what they want to do anyway. So there can be the pursuit, but as soon as people get too close, you can take all the books and lock it up in the tower, which is what Will kind of said.
Yeah,
This is the parish known for its intellectualism, its knowledge, the books it has, and yet no one has access to any of it.
yeah.
A few select few,
Mhm.
and then the one book that old priest doesn't like because the here's the thing, guys. There was laughter in that book.
Yeah,
People laughed, and you can't laugh. Why? Because if you can laugh at anything, at some point, you may laugh at God. And at that point, it's all over with
Mhm.
now. God, it's such stupid thinking that's so real because people have no depth on anything.
Yeah,
And look how much it cost. It caused so much craziness inside
well,
that place.
burned it down at the end,
Yeah, exactly.
like the whole thing.
The whole thing.
But what'd you think of the maze? I remember that so well when I was because this came out in '86,
Yeah.
so I was a young man. I was 18 at the
It was
time.
really cool.
Yeah, no,
I
it's
was
well
surprised.
done. I mean, the fact that they built that
Hmm.
set to do that, just and it was beautiful, and it reminds me, I went to a a, a bookstore in Columbus, Ohio,
Hmm.
and it had the same. It wasn't all dark like this was, but it was like stairway into stairway into stairway, going to just and connecting. It was a
Hmm.
maze, almost the exact same thing as this.
Yeah.
Probably one
No,
of
it
the
was
greatest
very
books.
cool. Very cool, good scene too.
Mhm,
It really goes to show you the depths that people will bury stuff and hide stuff if it
mhm.
means they can continue to pretend. And the thing is, who knows how long it's been hidden like that?
Yeah,
The only reason this is all happening, I guess, to even explain the murders is um, one of the priests, I guess he was one of the artists or something like that.
the cube.
Yeah, well, a dilemma, the very first guy
Oh,
who
okay, the
passed.
one we didn't see.
Yeah, the moon face librarian, they call him, uh, was into men and
They all seem to be into men,
very much
except for
so.
Christian Slater.
Young, beautiful man.
Uh-huh.
He may have been until she got to him. She handled it first. She's like, you know what?
Wait, I mean, I would think that because she was the only female in there,
Yeah, the
so,
only one.
I mean, everybody can't take the turn at the same time. So maybe,
No,
young, beautiful.
yeah.
Can
And they're too shameful
you
for full
imagine that? Can you
orgies.
imagine that?
They're not like the
So
Greek.
you're Christian Slater. You're 16. You get your first job. You're with Sean Connery, James Bond, and then you got a scene right out at the beginning of this 100-year-old priest monk rubbing the back of your head, talking about how pretty you
Mhm.
are, and you got to protect yourself from the devil
It's
because the
okay.
devil's going to get you.
You're gonna get a sex scene soon with a chick.
Yeah, no, he was 16 when he did that.
Yeah, that's kind
That
of
was
weird.
so I was reading, that was actually not in the script. They did that impromptu. It was actually her, I
Oh,
believe, that I was like, yeah, I'm going for it. So kind of kind of inappropriate once you know about his
well,
age and that he didn't know that that's what they were going to do to him. And I hate to say it, but you pretty much saw everything from Christian Slater at that point. I mean, everything. So yeah, I mean, I'm sure he was high fiving afterwards, but I mean, I can imagine that left a
yeah,
little
my
bit.
first big role is this impromptu sex.
Yeah, yeah, and you got Sean Connery over there watching you,
Mhm. He's like, well done.
and a big fat priest.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Everyone's watching, like, oh,
Oh,
okay,
and Ron Perlman with his pig nose.
that's right.
Yeah, he's probably ah.
Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah,
No, no, I don't have. I mean, I could talk forever about various aspects, but I
it,
think it's something worth watching.
it's
I
it,
don't want to
it's
spoil
great. I
anything.
mean, it just basically it's just Sean Connery and Christian Slater walking around from room to room
Yeah.
and looking at things. That's pretty much all this movie is. And then everybody else is the side characters, the 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 monk doctor who does the autopsy kind of
Mm-hmm.
things, the cute, victim that gets
The
put into a barrel.
transcriber.
Although I wonder how the blind monk that was behind all this put him, a big healthy
He
20
didn't do
some
it.
year old, he didn't have help, so how did he get him into the pot?
He forced the Moonface guy to do it because he's the one that. Because there's the part with the footprints and the
Oh,
soul. He made him
see, I
take it.
completely forgot about
Yeah.
he was a weird character. Another one
Mm,
that everybody's a character, everybody's ugly. One of the things about this movie is that the director actually went out and chose ugly people
mm,
on purpose, and that guy was butt ugly. And his part was odd to say the
yeah.
least. I mean, not only was he a bit of a P aisle,
Hmm.
um, yeah, no, he was something else, but he
Yeah.
gets his you know comeuppance
Yeah.
at some point in the bathtub, which everybody thinks he's murdered, but then it turns out he drowned in it because he had the book and he had the arsenic on his
Mm,
fingers, so his tongue, so he actually had killed himself.
yeah.
Um, yeah, no, I mean, there's a lot of detail. That's one of
Hmm.
the things about this. There's so much detail that you can just,
Yeah.
you
That
know,
links up all pretty well together. Most conclusions and next events just
yeah.
kind of make sense for what's happening and what it is. A lot of these characters are doing stuff they shouldn't be doing and shame for it or hiding it.
Well,
So a lot of the
and it wasn't
critics,
just one book that was being hidden. There was
no,
a
it's
whole
tons and
library
tons and tons.
of books. And at the end, the 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 evil priest sets the library on
Hmm.
fire. And it's kind of a sad scene because you have Sean Connery there, and there's thousands of books,
Hmm.
books that have disappeared in time, and they're there, and he's just trying to collect
Hmm.
anything he can to save them, and he has to make a choice whether he tries to save the books or
Yeah.
lives. And of course, they leave it as oh, he sacrificed himself, but he didn't. He
Yeah.
gets out with a handful of books
Hmm.
at the end, but not the main book that
Yeah.
he was after because that guy
Hmm.
ate it.
Yeah. There was laughter, and he ate all those arsenic pages because I
Yeah. Yeah, he
don't
was a
laugh.
eating machine with that book because he's
Yeah.
screaming and
Yeah.
stuff.
Which is funny because even it also kind of goes to show you how different levels of evidence are needed for certain things because even before you kind of can tell the old priest is the problem when they go to the library to kind of investigate the spot where the transcriptionist was,
Mhm.
and they have that little back and forth about things being funny at all
Yeah.
when it comes to the church. And he was so mad about it, just like so against it, just off rip. And Will's just like, but there's other people, other philosophers, other people who do have this humor. There's a whole, sect of
Well,
priests.
Sean Connery himself,
Yeah, the
if
Franciscans.
yeah, if he hadn't had his problems with, Benedito, um, then he would have been a more open priest,
Yeah.
but he was suppressed because of his past with that,
Yeah.
but he believed in the books more so than he believed in,
Hmm.
you know, God. I mean, the books were everything to him
Yeah.
because he was a scientist. He was Sherlock Holmes,
Yep.
But yeah, no. One thing I didn't understand, which I do have to ask. So, you get the his little old friend that they meet at the beginning. That's all pet
Ubertino.
Ubertino.
Yeah.
So he gets into a cart,
Hmm.
and then he gets into a barrel in the cart.
Yeah. And they will him
I
up.
was trying to think, is that the way people travel back?
Well, there was
There
something
had to have been
about.
something about it. Maybe there was like some blankets in there or something.
Well, no, they were saying
He was being
when
recalled, wasn't he? He was being
it, well,
called back.
it was something weird because when William finds out Bernardo's coming and that group is coming, he's like, "We have to get Ubertino out of here." Like, there's a line where he literally
Yeah, they sent
says,
him out.
"We have to get." I don't know if it's because there were some problems or they're passed together. Maybe they both did something to Bernardo, but he was like,
Hmm.
"We have to get him out of here." So I think it was part shooing him off slash getting him hidden. But there's only
Yeah.
that one line that kind of supports it, so I don't
Did
remember.
you ever see Prizzi's Honor?
Mm-mm.
So he won an Academy Award for Prizzi's Honor, the old man, and that's one of the things I want to do. It's got Jack Nicholson, Kathleen Turner, him in it. Oh, Angelica Houston.
Okay,
Yeah, I haven't seen that
remember
in
that so we can add it to the
30
list.
years. Yep,
Hmm.
Prizzi's Honor. Yeah,
Yeah, but I think that's it. I mean, I say
yeah.
watch it. I think I don't
Okay.
want to spoil too much. We already talked about everything.
Yeah, yeah. We don't
So
have any problem talking about anything. We
yeah,
don't. We don't actually talk about the movie blow by blow.
yeah,
We talk about what we liked about it, what
mm,
what was amazing about this, and this is an amazing movie.
yeah.
This is a time capsule and something we would never see today
No,
at all.
not at all.
I mean, can you remember what the last period piece that came out was? I think. Oh,
Mm-mm.
I know. Pride and Prejudice versus Zombies.
Yeah.
That was it.
I mean, I feel like there's been
Holy
a bunch
cow!
of like Queen Elizabeth stuff, things I
Yeah, no,
never
they do that one
watched.
to death,
Yeah,
don't they?
and that's
I mean,
usually a period piece.
yeah, but it's the same one over and over.
I don't know why, but yeah.
Hmm.
But we guys give you samples. We let you know what we liked, what was good,
Yeah.
and by
And
our final score, if it's a recommendation or not.
yeah.
So
What do you think?
I'm
Give
gonna
it
give it a 4.5.
4.5.
Yeah, I it didn't shy away from what
So
it
you
needed
loved it.
to. Yeah, I liked it a lot.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very, very nice. And you know what? I'll give it a 4.5 because I think it's a great movie and,
Mhm.
definitely worth everybody checking out. I mean, understand that you're not going to be happy while watching this, but that's okay. You don't have to be happy.
I like bleak stuff, so I'm always good for the sad, the bleak, because life can suck.
I want to know. I mean, this is 700 years ago.
Hmm.
Okay. I should be able to know how people lived back then. It should be
Yeah.
fine.
And it shouldn't upset me to know that was the case. I would hope our society has changed much.
Oh, of course it
I
has. I
think the
mean,
concern is that, while technology has changed and living conditions may have changed, a lot of the same old problems are the same old problems. We
yeah.
didn't change in those ways.
Yeah. No, shelter, food,
Hmm.
relationships, you know.
Religion,
Yeah.
yeah, same old stuff, same old messy people.
All right. So we're out of here.
That's right.
Thank you for joining us today.
Like,
And
comment, and subscribe.
oh yeah, please,
Tell us if you remember this
thumbs up.
classic
Yeah.
and what you thought of it. If there's something comparable to this now that you think has happened in more modern
Yeah.
history, because let us know.
Because I'm sure we've missed a lot of movies that have been out. I mean, and maybe something has come out like
Mhm.
this that we don't know existed or just blew it off.
Yeah,
Like, maybe Abraham Lincoln versus the vampires. I never
yeah,
watched that one. Oh, Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter.
yeah.
Watched it. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's it.
All
We're out
right.
of here. We'll see you later.
Have a
Bye.
good one.
We actually didn't set up anything to say after
No, no,
this.
no. Secret handshakes.
Secret handshake?
Oh. Oh. Wait, hold on. So I think
that
it's
my fault?
forward.
Yeah. I don't.
Go through. And you go back. And then fist up and down. So I'll go down. You go up.
I win.
We weren't playing rock, paper, scissors.
I thought we were.
Oh.
Whatever. We're out of here.
We are out of
Give
here.
it a countdown. Let's clap. Maybe we need to script these at the end.
Maybe.
That'd be good. So, I don't know. 3, 2, 1.